Hi everyone and welcome back to another weekly market analysis. In this video, we'll recap last week's market performance, preview what's on the horizon for the next week, and brace yourselves. I'm going to share my planned trades for the next week with you. So previous week was a very heavy week. But first of all, shout out to me for having successful pound Swiss short trade last week, gaining 200 pips in one trade so far. Stay tuned to the end to see how it's going to be from this point. So, as I said, last week was a very heavy week. Let's take a look back at last week's. Uh, then let's turn out our attention to the things we should keep an eye on in the week ahead. On Tuesday, the CPI was same as previous months, 1.4%. Well, of course, this was the U.S. Jobs openings number came out less than expected and less than the previous month, 8.05 million jobs, which paralyzed the markets completely till the non-farm payrolls data on Friday, which came out more than expected and more than the previous month. That contradicted with the unemployment data, which was softer than expected, 4.0 versus 3.9. On Wednesday, the Aussie um, GDP came out 1.1, softer than the both expected and previous month. The thing that shocked me personally was the interest rate lowered by the Bank of Canada by 25 basis points to be 4.75 instead 5.0 for several months. Same as expected, but lower than previous month. But lower than previous several months. On the same level, the ECB lowered its interest rates by 25 points. Okay, now moving ahead to the next week, let's look at the outlook. It's going to be a quiet week. On Monday, we have the Japanese GDP, UK employment rate. On Wednesday, we have the same, have the US and we have the US inflation data and also the US interest rate decision. On Thursday, we have the Aussie unemployment data, and finally on Friday, the Bank of Japan interest rate decision. On the geopolitical level, of course, we have the EU Parliament elections. So on the technical side, we can see that the euro pound has formed a very interesting falling triangle, and interestingly, we have just broken under this bottom. By measuring the base of the triangle here, we give 500 pips downwards. And be careful, there is a gap here also. So for those who are going into a hedge trading, it will be a great idea if you consider this. Euro Kiwi, I can see a divergence here on the daily chart in addition to the gap from the previous week. In the previous week, we have seen a break for the falling wedge, where it is a very good trigger for going long with their pair with this pair. Moving to the pound dollar, it's forming a symmetric triangle, and I'm waiting for the price to break it. My own expectations is that it's going to break out to the downside, but I'm not going to enter unless I see a trigger. Pound CAD, we have a compound rising wedge as we see here, ready to trigger. Once the first wedge get fulfilled with a 300 pips profit, we will see a trigger for the bigger wedge, which is 700 pips roughly, which is a very interesting profit. It's almost 1,000 pips from one trade. But I'm expecting that this is going to take like a month or 6 weeks. Okay, so moving to pound Swiss. Same here, a rising wedge. I personally entered short trade for this pair last week, making over 100 pips so far. On the weekly chart, we can see a very obvious divergence. What's interesting about the Aussie Kiwi is the divergence we can see here. And this is it. For the Aussie dollar, we have a triangle. I'm going to be waiting for a trigger. I'm not so sure whether the price is going to break to the upside or to the downside. I'm going to be waiting. All right. What will be my trade for the next week? I have decided after I make a combination between the fundamental analysis and technical analysis. I'm going to go with two trades. First of all, I'm going to continue with the pound Swiss until I hit the target I mentioned in the previous video. In addition, I'm going to take the leap and short euro pound with a taking profit level at zero point 0.8. Again, I'm not giving financial advice. I'm only showing you what I'm going to trade personally. Thank you very much for watching me and good luck for you all.